Get this chat done so we can play some Marvel Rivals really quick before 1 a.m. We're on the clock, fellas. We're on the clock.
This guy's got priorities straight.
Got my priorities. Welcome to Chat from the Deep, our weekly live stream post-session discussion where we talk about what just happened during D&D, which we only made it through 3 rooms. This is the chat session at 56. If you've not watched that session yet, please go do that, because there will be spoilers. I'm your DM, Eric, and joining me, we have Gottwald's player, Chris.
Yeah, strawberries. Been healthy tonight.
And Max player, Raymond. You ate strawberries last week, too.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
You did. We went on a whole fruit discussion.
That's right.
Don't got time tonight, though. Hurry up.
Never forget the fruit discussion. Yeah, so I was funny as I knew going into this that the first session you guys spent in this dungeon was no combat whatsoever. There's a lot of environmental stuff and exploration. And then I knew coming up, it's like, oh, then we're going to do like nothing but combat for like this next session. Assuming they go north, which I presumed you would, because that's where the next objective thing is. Which, so how do you feel about that continuing, that you've got this big space, but you've also got like this kind of like exclamation points on your map, basically, that's kind of informing like where you should go? Because as a DM, it super helps me.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, from my perspective, it's fine. It's like it's. We could go any direction we want to go, right? Like we can conceivably, but us having a guiding light is helpful for us, I think.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, well, you can go any direction you want, but here are the 3 directions that are, like, the best to go towards because you have objectives.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't have any problem with it. And I'm sure it is helpful to you, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Gives us a little focus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a fun little variety, especially in this section here, I find. It's been a nice variety of things going on. So, to recap, that first room, which we knew was going to be a fight because we kind of ended with startling that guy. That stat block is the Warlock of the Great Old One, which is pretty cool. You can do some neat things with the Whispering Aura and the just creating a momentary Howling Void. Just some good stats. He has like a 90 hit points. Like just obviously not meant to be strong. He's only one of him versus 5 of you, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you hadn't interrupted him, and you just sit there for a minute and watch him, then he finishes his ritual, which is to summon a Death Slod. And I think I was going to actually do it violently and have the Death Slod like explode out of him.
Nice.
So he would not be a combatant, but then you'd have to fight the Death Slod. So, and instead you interrupt him, and then you have to fight him instead.
Okay. So it was good. It was good to be interrupted.
It was good to be interrupted, which I kind of confirmed that whenever you guys like analyzed the writings and stuff, you're like, oh, it would have been really bad if he had continued doing this. Like, yeah.
Yep.
What's so bad about Death Slod?
They're just pretty nasty creatures, I guess. Slods are weird. We fought
Slods
them
have a lot of weird abilities.
They do. They have like regeneration. They have some spells, some really bad spells. Like fear and fireball. Like technically the captain, I forgot his name now, but one of the pirate captains was Slod, and he had like those kind of nasty spells too, like turn invisible and all that shit, and then just like good like basic attacks, just really nasty.
Wasn't a Slod the one that gave us so much trouble in Tomb of Annihilation?
Yes, there was a Slod for that too. Yeah. Specifically for that reason, like they can go invisible and just do all these kind of nasty spell effects.
Yep.
The area up here is honestly this whole section. Well, so that one I did change from the book. I mentioned I think in last chat that it was just 3 dudes sitting around a table and they're just insane. So I changed it to use based on that supernatural region from Tasha's. That was like one of the encounters at the far realm. Was like, oh, somebody goes insane and they summon a Death Slot if they finish their ritual, and that's what I did for this room. Yeah. So that one I changed. The other 2 rooms, these are area 35 and 36, exactly as written. Which is there's a bunch of stalagmites here that do damage if they're prone, and then there's these like Mind Flayer-esque ropers, which are kind of
ropers.
They're basically roper. Roper is the base stat block, and then they also had a little bit of spell casting, which you saw the levitate, and then they had a weakened version of the Mind Blast ability, which technically the other one could have done it as well. They can do it once per day, but it was fine with the way the fight played out. So
it was already kind of in the middle. At that point. Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite creatures. Like these creatures never disappoint. They're such a pain in the ass. They've got great action economy. They've got great stats. They're scary. They're always in a place where they can take advantage of the environment being really weird in some way, and just in general, like being able to grab somebody and like lift them. Like it's just I wish more creatures were designed like the Roper. Basically, I could go on a whole tangent about how fantastic of a creature that is. So.
This is a YouTube video. You really, it's like ropers are D&D's best creatures.
Best creatures, and here's why. Here's why. Well, unfortunately, in like 2 months, we're about to get a whole new monster manual. So
so who knows?
We'll wait on, and I'll do a big monster manual thing on there. But
yeah,
it's got to be a top 10 creature. Maybe throughout D&D's history, I don't know, but certainly in 5th edition, it remains really fun.
Yep.
Which that was a fun battle too, despite you guys using some cool abilities. Like, and you had to show off some cool abilities. But
I feel like we used a lot of abilities.
Yes,
like Heather used a 6-level spell slot for those guys.
Yeah.
I used at least 2 runes. I think. Yeah, so we used some resources on
to where you guys were like, oh, we have to immediately short rest after this fight. That always makes me feel like, all right, that was a good one. Which that was a case of you guys basically getting surprised by those. The other cool thing they are, right? They're like literally indistinguishable, and they're meant to be ambush predators. Like just fabulous. And then
honestly, at this point, every time we hear you say the word stalagmite or stalactite, we should just assume
it's the meta knowledge. Is like, all right, there's gonna be a roper in here somewhere, or something bad. Yeah, that's definitely fair. And then you guys actually scouted, which shout out to Ray for being like, you know what, I'm gonna send Cheese in here to scout.
Cheese can speak.
Cheese can speak. God,
I can understand him.
How do we fucking miss this? The whole
time?
We had to spend a lot of time looking up rules in this.
That's
episode.
True. Like condition stacks and
there was a lot of
interactions and
a lot of that going on. At one point, like you were grappled, restrained, and stunned. I think.
Yep.
And then Mac learned that he can talk to Cheese.
I think we all assumed that Cheese was a beast, so didn't have any language capabilities. Right. I think that's what we all assumed.
Yeah.
But I was discovering no, he can talk. He just speaks Draconic.
Thinking back, I'm like, I have used him as a scout before, but we've done the charades thing, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And went along with it. But
it's so funny. Like this late in the campaign, like, oh wait, we can just speak to each other.
Yeah. I
do like to mention that she's just an asshole about it too. Like, yeah, motherfucker, I've been able to talk this entire time.
You just haven't been listening.
Yeah, exactly.
You just didn't ask the right questions. Well, I like that, and I enjoy it because especially since the last fight, I literally ambushed you guys. I was like, this is a great opportunity for you guys to scout and actually see what's going on ahead. Which it was literally a DC 14 to find them. Oh, so since she's rolled a 14, I was like, all right, I'm not going to give you the exact information, but I'm definitely going to tease that there's like something in the water going on here.
I mean, I will say when you say there's a viscous pool up ahead,
that's the other like warning sign. Like, well, that's not going to be a pleasant thing.
What's under the surface? Yeah.
And I liked obviously Heather doing the one-to-one with the darkness was funny because it did nothing. But then the cloud of butterflies, I was like, all right, I can work with that at least. And then that actually works as like a bait system, so all the creatures suddenly start coming up. So it's like, oh, you guys can see them when you make the perception check. Now you can see what you're dealing with and the numbers and all that. So that actually ended up working out as a good way of doing that without actually... And because it's like a cloud of butterflies, and I played it like these creatures... Well, I probably should have played them smarter, I guess. They probably do have... No, actually, they're not that smart. Never mind.
Okay, yeah, like, are they intelligent? Yeah.
Like, I didn't... Yeah, because of the Ceremorphosis version of them.
Right.
Like, it's actually not that intelligent. So no, they would be like, oh, there's just food here. So that's how I played it, and I enjoyed that you guys got to get the jump on them for once. Because that's not something you guys do too often. So poisonous
pool. We really handled it well. We banished one of them.
Yeah. Floral immediately got the, which is great because this creature also hilariously bad charisma, and he hasn't done, which I mean, should have banished the fucking other one, man. I don't. The Roper's like.
I'm not sure he can see the other one.
Okay.
Toral's, Yeah.
All these like nasty monsters have horrible charisma saves, so they're very weak against that banishment. Yeah, that.
I think if I were him, I would also hesitate to banish something that's been taking damage. Maybe it doesn't seem as cost effective.
I can see that versus doing it the first
brand new
turn.
Fresh.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, although his spell slots are funky because he gets them back on a short rest. So every one of his spells is as valuable as the other one, basically. But I see what you're saying.
Yep.
And then Gottwald found out the hard way that these creatures damage on, which there are creatures that do that, and they are straight up very bad for all your multi-attacking martial characters.
Yeah.
Especially your grapplers like you. Monks would have a real hard time with that.
Yeah, Monk would have a terrible time.
Yes. Yeah, so I was like, all right, finally. And then I love the fact they're like, all right, fuck that. I'm just going to yeet this creature back to the party.
If I can't punch repeatedly, I'm just going to throw him away.
Yeah, then I got the friggin' crit on Toril, and then you did the redirect.
Yep.
Man. You guys were rolling, so this was one of the highest average attack roll. In fact, we even mentioned one point, remember that whenever somebody made an attack roll on the, which, yeah, those ropers have a 20 AC, by the way. And you made like an 18, like, wait, that doesn't hit? And I'm like, yeah, you motherfuckers have rolled like plus 20 this entire time. And they had a 20 AC. Like, they have a really good AC, and it didn't fucking matter. You guys were literally getting like 24, 26, 28 in all your attack rolls.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. So, and we started off the session at like literally a 14 or 15 on the giveaway tracker, and we're at 22 right now. Like, there were so many net 20s.
Wow. That's
way more than usual. Yeah. Now, granted, we were in combat a lot, so it tracks that we have some, but that's way above our average. So that also kind of swung the combats in your favor. But yeah, and Sombra was using big spells. Telekinesis, a 5th level spell, which effectively grabbed that one, and then Toril with his double crits took it out. There's technically 3 of those creatures in here, but because it was after midnight when we started this fight, I'm like, all right, they're already probably not going to be too happy that I'm doing a fight right here, but because you're getting the drop on them, you know what the situation is, and we only did 2 rooms before, I'm going to try to squeeze this fight in.
Yeah,
so I'm glad we got you.
I did notice that, but I was like, he must have something up his sleeve to where this isn't going to last 40 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was like, so if it was not the end of the session where I'm like really playing with fire, doing it that late, there was a third one that was not, just hadn't surfaced yet, and would have been rolling initiative, and then would have popped up and been in that, which with the banishment especially, I was like, I really wish I could pull that trigger basically and include it, but I was like, I just don't want to do it with this late because that'll add another 10 or 15 minutes.
Exactly. You're just adding time at that point. Yeah.
So only 2 in here. But yeah, we didn't make it too terribly far, but there was a lot of combat, and I figured
it'd be
a little slow.
3 rooms, but 3 combats each, one in each room. So I feel like
but effectively you basically made it to the first brain. So
that's the surprising thing to me is that I think I assumed that it would be like a boss creature or something. I assumed they were all mind flayers. I assumed that every single one was a different mind flayer.
That's a fair assumption, yeah.
Like doing something, like a person, or a creature controlling.
No, that's totally fair. You didn't know what to expect. Yeah, you never actually knew what the deal was here. Yeah.
So for me to not see a mind, that's why I drank the psychic potion. I was like, okay, well we're gonna fight a mind flayer because you've got different ones controlling the Slurker. Right.
No, yeah, that's
so I was surprised.
Yep, that was I guess we haven't gone there yet, but I think you do have visibility of it, even though it's supposed to be underwater and kind of murky,
I can see it's
yeah, you can kind of see the object, I guess, and you've got super dark vision. So I'm basically picturing, honestly, and the only reason I didn't want to necessarily run this campaign right after Rime is because of the whole like mind flayer, brain, psychic theme, which we dealt with a little bit. We didn't deal with mind flayers, but we dealt with the brain thing. And I'm literally like borrowing like some of the brain in a jar concept that we had in as well as like those are the augmenter brains. So
right. Yep. It's been a year. It's been a year.
It's been a year. Yeah. It's probably been 2 years at this point.
Yeah.
And then we'll see where we can get to leave it off next time. But we'll definitely be here for next week. Next week should be a normal week for crafting streams and Friday game and everything. But that'll be then our last one for the holiday break. So we'll probably looking at taking a 2-week break from really doing any live streams at all. That's probably crafting and the Friday games, which we just did a patron game this week. So I may wait and upload that one like the week of Christmas. Just so I've got something going up.
And then just double checking, but you can't tell us about that Misty Pit yet, can you? From last time.
He's still thinking about that pit. I probably could at this point because it's pretty far away. I guess if we just promise you're not going to make it back to the pit, but
I don't think we are.
Yeah, I don't think you are either. I think it's because all the brains are in other directions.
Right.
without getting too in the nitty gritty, so before it was just the original one was like there's a corpse down there, and if you go down there, you're just like scared of it or something. You get like madness or something weird thing. It's not really much.
So
I changed it to this whole system where you start descending down the pit. You have to make a wisdom save. If you fail, you're frightened for 1 hour, so you can't go down there anymore because you're frightened of it. And if you make the save and you continue to descend, you must make a harder. These are wisdom saves. You must make a harder save, DC 20. And if you succeed, let's see, make sure I get this right. If you make the save, if you succeed, I think nothing. I think you just went down there and just saw nothing. But if you failed, that's right. I borrowed from the original creature that was in here. You would have the effect of gaseous form as a curse upon you. So you would turn into a gaseous form. And the way it was written in the creature stat block, it was like you basically couldn't get rid of it unless you had Dispel Curse or something. I was like, oh, well, that's fun for the player. So I did it. I treated it like Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen. And I was like, all right, well, every hour you can attempt the save again, lowering the DC by 1 as you try to knit yourself back together.
Oh, okay.
And if you can do that when you make the save, then you gain the ability to cast it at will.
The gaseous form?
Yes. Because it's like you like gaining a superpower because now you like have control of your molecules or something.
That's fun.
Yeah. Well, you potentially
but
have to
also terrible. Like that's
because you have to deal with that being cursed for like a while. Yeah.
Right.
The bummer is there's a gamified version where you're like, oh, let's just sit here for like 8 hours and let him make the save or something. Hopefully the players don't just do that, but. That was my idea. Tell us there was
a benefit at the end. That probably
right, which you wouldn't know that. You'd be like, oh, I just got to get out of this curse, and that would be the surprise thing. Is like, oh, now because you've done like similar Dr. Manhattan, like now you've like gained the ability to like mastery over your own body or something.
Yeah.
So that was my idea. I borrowed from like the supernatural gift. I think they call it. It's like you want to give somebody like a permanent buff or ability or something. That was the pit. So it really wasn't like, well, I guess that it was a danger thing. So, but it was a danger thing with a possible benefit at the end of it.
Interesting. Yeah. I wonder if knowing that any of us would have gone down into it. I'm not sure if we would.
So it would have been a DC 15 wisdom save. And if you fail it, you're frightened of the pit and you just don't want to go down there.
I certainly wouldn't have gone down because my DC, I was never going to make that.
And the idea is that also going to be like a role playing thing. You're like, oh, fuck this. I'm too freaked out of the. You guys did that already to yourselves, which was funny. But yeah, that was the other idea is like it would be like too freaky. And I initially had like 3 and I was like, let's do like 2 different saves and just.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I think if you make the second one, you're just. Oh, that's right. I did have it right where if you make the second DC. Okay, yeah, you actually feel your body discorporate, but then you immediately like fix yourself, and so you gain the benefit without ever actually having the negative of it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Which was a DC 20 wisdom save to make.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yep. So that's a cool. Somebody can take that idea and run with it. Is a kind of an interesting, creepy trap thing that is a curse on somebody. But I figured there's got to be a way for the player to end the curse, and I also included the fact that it lowers the DC by 1 after each fail to eventually just have like a pity system. I guess. So eventually you'll get out of it yourself. But yeah, gaseous form, you really can't do anything but move. Like it's takes you out of everything. I mean, you could scout, I guess, but.
Real slowly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the speed of 10 feet, the flying speed of 10 feet, which is not a good map for that because it's not about squeezing into things. It's just pure distance.
I'm slowly following behind, guys. I'll be there in a second.
I don't think you can talk either. You're just a fucking misty form. Yep. Anything else about session 56? We are crawling along, but these are, it's a dungeon crawl with big rooms happening, so.
Yep, I like that. It's I like the dungeon crawl feel. Like
Yeah.
we're just exploring rooms and seeing what's in each one.
It's been a really good looking map too. You can find the map link in the description that I'm using, but this is a 1-to-1 from the original map design to what this artist recreated basically, but with the obviously full color detailed map art. But that really looks great and helps me, the DM, get motivated to plan all these rooms and do all that, and looks good on the for you all as well.
Yeah.
All right. I think that will do it for the chat from the deep. Thank you to Chris and Raymond. Thank you to all the wonderful fans for watching, and we will see you next week.
See you then.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Not anymore.
No. Happy Saturday the 14th. Great.